Hello, so this is just going to be a little video about sort of what it was like getting Omicron, like the COVID strain of Omicron, because I'm testing negative now on all the tests, but I still have a couple of symptoms, and I really hope it's not going to be like some sort of long COVID thing where these symptoms don't go away, but hopefully they're just a bit slower going than, like, the main infectious symptoms. So, to give you an idea, the Friday before Christmas, as in not Friday the 24th of December, but the week before, whatever Friday that was, I woke up with a really sore throat. So I did a PCR test when I got up. Not PCR test, sorry, lateral flow test. And that came back positive. So I phoned in work that day, said, I can't come in because obviously this is tests come back positive, and I'll get a PCR test done later that day. Had the PCR test done that evening, and that came back positive. Now, for the first 2 days, I wasn't too bad. I just had a really sore throat, a dry cough kind of thing. I don't think it was productive. I don't think any phlegm was coming up. I'm pretty sure it was a dry cough. Although saying that, I had a bit of a phlegmy cough before then, so I can't actually entirely remember. It might have been a mix of both. Some days it would bring up phlegm, some days it would just be a dry, sort of irritant cough. So that was that for the first 2 days. Now, on the Sunday, I felt really bad. So I didn't feel too bad the Friday and Saturday, other than a bit headachy, stuff like that. It was one of those things where you could take paracetamol, ibuprofen, anything like that, you'd be fine. The Sunday, I felt absolutely awful, as in I was in bed all day. All my energy was gone. I assume it's because my immune system was at its peak of fighting, the infection. So basically, I just couldn't get out of bed all day. I think I got out of bed for like 1 hour, and then looking at screens, looking at lights hurt. It was like very migrainey. So I just went to bed. When I was asleep, it was all right. I had some very vivid, weird dreams, like fever dreams. Essentially, yeah, I did have a fever. I was about 40 Celsius. I think you could touch my forehead, and it was like you could feel how hot it was. And on that Sunday, there'd be times when I'd put loads of layers on, be under the covers, and then I'd still be shivering like I was really cold. And then, minutes later, I'd feel like I was absolutely burning up. And that happened quite a bit. So obviously I was quite feverish and, shaky and everything on the Sunday. The Monday, most of the bad symptoms were already over. I was still quite tired Monday, but, I did get up for a lot longer on Monday. So, I slept more than I'd sleep on a normal day, but I was up and about for quite a few hours. So the worst symptoms are gone by then. And then, sort of later into the week, I was testing myself sort of almost daily with lateral flow tests, and at that point I was coming back negative. So the actual infection probably lasted about 5 days before it went from being positive to negative on the tests. And I've still got a bit of a sore throat now. A lot of people have said, my voice still sounds a bit shit, where a bit like when you've got a cold, you can tell that there's something's up with my voice. And I'm still having days at the moment where some days I have barely any energy, and that's one of the days today. So apologies for the people I said I'd do a stream later today. I've not got the energy to do it now because I've had a sleep for several hours earlier. I felt fine when I got up this morning about 10 a.m. or whenever it was. Did dog walking and that, felt absolutely fine, got home, and then, with an hour or two of getting home from doing that, my energy just started depleting. I had to lay down for a bit, and then I fell asleep from 1 p.m. to something like 5 or 6 p.m. So I was, out for hours then. So, again, I've not had loads of energy today. So I'd say, in all honesty, Omicron, when I had it, felt like a bad flu. Or bad cold, mild flu, because I've had flus and things that have definitely felt worse than this. But the worrying thing is if some of the, symptoms are a bit persistent, because a lot of people are getting out of COVID. Now, I've had 2 vaccines and a booster, so 3 vaccines in total. And obviously that helps because at the moment, most of the people in the UK who are hospitalised with Omicron, obviously the more vulnerable you are anyway, the more likely it will be bad if you get it. But I think it's only like 2 or 3% of people in like hospital at the moment with COVID, with the Omicron variant, are vaccinated. So the majority of people are unvaccinated. They've not been vaccinated, therefore they're having, harder time fighting it than if they'd had the vaccines. So yeah, that's what it's been like so far for me. I've like I said, it felt like a bad flu, bad cold, bad flu. Lasted a few days, but I'm still getting some of the symptoms now. Like I said, now and again, my energy will completely go. My throat doesn't feel quite back to normal yet. I think my coughing's mostly gone, at least. But yeah, that's what it's like. I know a lot of people now that are catching it because it seems at the moment like pretty much everybody in the UK is getting Omicron because it's spreading like a common cold now. So it's, I think, per day we're getting over 100,000 confirmed cases, where people have done the tests and then reported the test back, like the lateral flows and PCRs. Actually, they might only include the PCRs on that. But, it's basically one of the ones where it's superseded all the other sort of coronavirus variants in the UK because of how much more infectious this one is, even though thankfully it's obviously not as dangerous. So, yeah, I know lots of other people that were meant to be coming down for New Year's sort of stuff, and they've had to cancel that because they've got it, like everybody in their households caught it, now they're all sort of very sleepy and, achy. Oh, yeah, that was another thing, achy limbs, like regular flu. But yeah, that's what it sort of has felt like for me anyway. So it's certainly not the worst thing I've had. I'd definitely rather have Omicron again than mumps. And I had mumps last year. But yeah, so that's just what it's like in general. It's sort of like a cold, fluey, achy sort of thing. And most people I know, like me, have had one day where it really knocks you out. You have 1 or 2 days where you just don't have the energy to do anything. And I guess that's the bit where your immune system's mostly fighting it. So it just, it makes a fever. It drains you of all your energy and you're like bedridden for a day. So anyway, hopefully within a day or two again, I'll feel up to doing streams and things because, like I said, just today I've been knocked out a bit by it again. So I'm trying to keep positive in myself, but it's just one of those annoying things where it'd be nice if it just hurried up and went away, but sadly it's still lingering around for a bit.